everybody, it's Molly Mahoney, and I would like to welcome you to another episode of the Prepared Performer podcast. Today's guest is Marla Diann, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about her before we go into the interview. She's an entrepreneur, visionary, and philanthropist, and she has been for over 2 decades. She brings 20 plus years of entertainment publicity, storytelling, and branding expertise with her love of human potential and entrepreneurship to her 8-year-old mentoring company. She's passionate about mentoring creative entrepreneurs. Hey, I think we have some of those in here. And a holistic approach to develop an integrated, trusted, and congruent personal brand as she coaches them on how to build a leveraged business based on a healthy money relationship. She's a certified money breakthrough method coach who inspires women and men to transform their relationship with money, helping them to break free of unconscious limiting money habits, gain control of their money behaviors, and build a stronger self-worth and higher income. Her website is Marla Diann, that's with 2 N's, DIANN.com. And stay tuned because at the end of the interview, she's going to be giving us a little free gift. It's actually a big free gift, but stay tuned. I'll have information in the podcast show notes and also at the end of the episode. Help me in welcoming Marla Diann. Woohoo! Welcome back to another episode of the Prepared Performer podcast. Hello, Prepared Performers. We are here for another episode of the Prepared Performer podcast. And today, you guys, I can't even handle how excited I am about this. It is perfect for everything that I know you guys are working toward and all the goodness that I love sharing with you. Today, we have Marla Diann of Embrace Your Spotlight Mentoring Company. She's a personal branding and business innovation mentor for creative entrepreneurs. Her website is marladiann with 2 N's.com, and we'll have a link to that and everything in here. But I met Marla recently several months ago and have gotten to know her a little bit more in the past couple months and weeks. And you guys, she's crazy awesome. So, hooray.
Awesome.
I love it. So this is going to be really beneficial for you guys, especially those of you who are looking to really run your performance career as a business, because she knows what she's doing. So Marla, tell us first, what is your purpose?
Hey. Well, first of all, thank you for that fun. It's always a fun party with you.
Thanks.
I love it. Love your energy.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Your hair looks so good, by the way. Your hair is so beautiful. I love it.
Oh,
such like.
Oh, look at you.
That's good.
Fun.
I'm feeling it. I love it. Beautiful.
Yeah. And I love all your little sayings behind you.
Thanks. One of my students gave me this one, which is really fun.
Always be loving, thankful, spontaneous, daring yourself. Yes.
Sparkle. Sparkle. I could do it all like this. Sparkle. Yay. So people who are listening to this, there might be an audio version of this out. I have really great sayings behind me on my wall in my studio, and I use it as my backdrop here. So always be original, loving, thankful, spontaneous, daring, and yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, love that. All right. Well, and before I answer that, let me say this.
Okay.
I can't tell you how happy I am to actually have found someone else, kind of a kindred spirit, that really, is passionate about this whole starving artist syndrome and eliminating it.
Yes, curing it and getting it out, squishing it.
It's like enough already.
Yeah.
And you're all going to understand that when I share my story. But I'm like, when you and I first talked about it, I went, you feel that way too? So anyway, really.
And you guys, when I first met Marla, I didn't realize how many performers and creative types that she works with, and that's really her specialty. And when I realized that, I was like, oh my gosh, we have to talk more.
I know, exactly.
So cool.
So, all right. Let's see, my purpose. I'm really obviously passionate, right, about mentoring creative entrepreneurs. Right.
Which you guys all are, whether or not you realize it.
Yes, you are. Absolutely. We'll talk about that. I'm a business coach, right, for creatives. So I'm like in the trenches with you.
I love it.
And I'm really helping you through the holistic approach, right? Meaning I help integrate all of kind of who you are not only into your brand, because you're the brand of your business, hence embrace your spotlight, but also your business. In other words, we tend to, and this happens for women a lot, and a lot of my clients are women, is that we splinter our lives. We operate in a way that's incredibly splintered, and we wonder why we're stressed all the time. Right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know. Huh? What?
I'm going to go change a diaper. I'll be right back.
That's good.
Just kidding.
And so what I do through various, obviously, systems and processes and such, is I assist you in how to integrate more of who you are. Here's the common denominator, right? Here's how I make decisions over here. Here's how I make decisions here. And here's how I show up in the world, hence your brand.
Mm-hmm.
And I do this, it's really cool, which we'll go into. I do this through the catalyst of your relationship with money.
Which is so important, and why we're doing this whole starving artist thing, right? Because it sets the tone for so much.
Yeah. So what I essentially do is I help my clients, we kind of partner together, right? And we navigate a clear path to more consistent, higher revenues. And here's the key, especially you women, without compromising our health, our well-being, our dignity, our family, and our values.
I like that. I don't think about dignity very often.
Yeah. Oh.
I don't think that comes into I should factor that one in sometimes.
I don't think a lot of us think about it when we're in the middle and our hair's coming out and we're screaming and we're like, wow.
Or last night at my vocal jam, someone said that one of my friends said I was dressed like a leprechaun. So I was bouncing around the stage in my little pencil skirt like a leprechaun. Dignity doesn't necessarily fit into my brand, Marla.
Well, that's okay.
I'm just kidding.
We'll find a way.
I love that. I love it. I should think about that a little more.
Well, and all this comes a lot from my own life. Obviously, we can't coach and mentor something we haven't gone through. And I found that, unless I could really look at how am I taking care of me? What are my rituals, my habits, my behaviors, not only, in personal life, but in business, and how do I integrate, how do I operate in all of those, right? But it's the biggest challenge I think I see clients coming to me, definitely about the money stuff, is they're so stressed, they're overwhelmed, they don't know how to take care of themselves, they have no room in their calendar for themselves. It's like, I just worked with a client yesterday, brand new client, love her. And she literally says, I can't remember the last time I put myself on my own calendar. Mm-hmm. And so that is so critical to the money, the sales, what goes on, your talent, you as a performer. I mean, you can't possibly, get that one out, be not only a congruent brand, but an excellent performer if behind the scenes you're not balanced on some level.
It's so important. I talk a lot. I don't know if I've told you about this, but I was able to ask Daniel Day-Lewis a question in this situation that I was at.
Yeah.
And, it was a premiere for the movie 9 when he did that musical.
Yes.
And I asked him how he finds the balance between his career and his life. Mm-hmm. And he looked into my soul. And I was like, ugh. And he said, this is a career that will scoop the life out of you. And he just kept using that word scoop, which I thought was so onomatopoeic and so juicy, right?
Yeah. He
said, if you don't fill up, you are in trouble. And I think it's so true.
It's really important. Incredibly true. Yeah. I mean, in any profession, and especially in an entertainer's career.
Yeah.
I mean, my gosh. I mean, yes. Know that, live that, all that stuff.
Yeah. So how did you start doing what you're doing now? How did you start, where did you come from? What's your story? And how did you start working with performing artists?
Well, all right. Let's start this way. I come from a very creative family.
Okay.
Yep. Everybody, it's in my DNA. Everybody in my family on some level is involved in the creative arts. I have screenwriters, costume designers, authors, filmmakers. These are all immediate family.
Awesome.
Theater directors, theater producers, musicians, musical contractors. Literally, that's my family tree.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I was brought up around creativity. I'm talking parents, sisters, brother-in-law, aunts, uncles, the immediate family. That's all of us.
I love
right?
it.
So I was destined. I was destined to, really do something with that. Well, my art was writing. My art was writing as well as visual arts. I love visual arts, anything from photography to filmmaking to interior design, and it's a visual art. I wouldn't say performing, although I speak fine, but I'm probably not a performer. You're great at that.
We all have our ways of getting that goodness out there, though, right?
Yes, the goodness, yeah. So what happened is I was brought up around that. And then I ended up going to school. I got a degree in PR journalism. So I'm a journalistic, trained PR expert. So I ended up putting together this awesome career over about 20 years. I was an entertainment publicist.
Which is so awesome.
Yeah. Entertainment publicist. And my first 6 years, as I was learning the ropes of it, I worked for some really awesome agencies in Hollywood, Beverly Hills, all that whole West Side. And man, I had a blast. Oh my God, this was the perfect career for me.
Yeah.
Right? I had a chance to not only be on top of the trends, work with all these major names and performers and actors and you name it.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it. And then when my son, who actually is going to be 25 next week, I made a promise to myself when he turned 5, I would bring that gig home so I could raise him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did. So for 13 more years, I ran my own PR agency out of my home.
So cool.
Right. I was in Thousand Oaks, Westlake. Prior to that, I was in Colorado, came back to LA. But I ran that agency and I just had a blast. I had visual performing artists and I did everything I was doing with the agencies, but for myself. And an interesting thing that happened, and this right here is a really important piece, everybody. When you are putting together your brand, what I'm about to share with you is what I call your struggle to victory story that connects emotionally to your audience, right? Because that's part of how I coach branding, is that it's through storytelling, right? The core of your brand, right, is storytelling. It's who you are. So what happened to me is here I was, this, poster child of health and happiness and positivity, and I got slammed with breast cancer.
Oh, heck.
Heck. I got a diagnosis, although it was early detection.
Yeah.
It was a major turning point for my life. I turned that challenge into a gift, meaning I ended up volunteering for Susan G. Komen, the LA affiliate. And for 6 years, I was their speaker chair.
Oh, wow.
And I ran around to different audiences, large and small, to share my survivor story and the Komen initiatives. And that's where I got my speaking chops.
Man, that's amazing.
Thank you.
I'll remember this, but I have somebody else I'd love to connect you with. Another student of mine who just went through that, and it's just so crazy. I'm super spiritual and understand the bigger picture here. So that's why I took that route, and it became such a healing, obviously, process for me. But it also, unbeknownst to me, would I 6 years later become a speaker, trainer, mentor. Right.
So, yeah.
And so recently, like in the past year, I've really been in a place where I've been much more able to see the gift in those situations. Like I don't know if you know who Pema Chodron is. Do you know her?
Who?
Pema Chodron.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
I love her. She's an author, Buddhist nun, and she has a book called When Things Fall Apart. Do you know that book?
No, but what a great title.
Yeah. And she talks about how she like walked in on her husband having an affair and
Oh,
how horrible the whole thing was, but it's what sent her on the path to becoming this author and, you know, Buddhist nun philosopher. Like she's so successful and has the best life ever now. And that she's able to thank him for that horrible thing that happened. And, I've been so much better about actually like seeing things from that point of view and when things bad happen. And it can take a while till you actually find the moment of like the good out of it. Yeah. The clarity with it. Yeah. But how great for you, how, you know, to be able to.
Well, thank you. I mean, I was very, very conscious about what was happening all along. I mean, yes, my first week after diagnosis, I was in major denial.
Yeah.
Like, what? I don't do cancer. What? You know, it's like, and so once I surrendered to all of that and moved into, okay, hold on. What's the bigger picture here, Marla?
Right.
So anyway, that happened. And then about 5-6 years later is when I went, oh, I can't do this anymore. I can't do PR anymore. I've evolved out of it. And that's when I ended up like, okay, done with this. I ended up finding a mentor who helped me then reinvent me into a mentor coach for entrepreneurs, how to turn themselves into a brand. And all of that was going on, mind you, at the same time that social media started to come on the horizon. This was like 2006.
In PR, I'm sure changed everything.
Well, like, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly was the defining moment is I went, okay, wait a minute. What's this blog stuff? What's this online stuff? And PR was evolving into social media. I realized, oh, I better hold on. I got to innovate me, right?
Yeah.
I got to innovate me. I need to figure out how can I move with the evolution, if you will.
Move with the cheese.
Move with the cheese. And what do I need to do to match what's going on out there, but evolve me at the same time?
I love it. And then also, I mean, I'm sure you were thinking about this at the time too, but also how you're going to end up helping others to do the same thing, right? Like that. Crazy. Yeah,
absolutely. And trust me, this was not an easy route. You know, because here's where we bring in the integration principle. And that is, I so wanted to marry together and integrate all of who I was into this business model.
Right.
Because here I was, spiritual. I loved self-development. I'd gone to Tony Robbins and Jack Canfield and all those great people, right? And I always was kind of the inspirational type gal that everyone looked to, and the creative and the writer and all that. So how do I bring all this together?
Yeah.
Okay? And so that's exactly what happened is I went, how can I play a bigger game? How can I affect more lives? How can I pass on my knowledge and pay it forward?
Yes.
Right?
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
So that's what happened. But let me interject, which will really be a great segue to us when we start talking about entertainers and money and stuff. I can't tell you how frustrating it was. The last 5 years of my PR career, I took on being a talent manager.
Oh, so
okay. I was doing both. I was doing publicity and talent management for both visual and some performing artists. And I'll tell you something, man, I was so frustrated with this mentality that people had, right? These performers.
Yeah.
And I required,
I feel like it's something that actually, like people say, just change.
I know, it's like knock it off.
Yeah, but that's not, it's easier said than done.
And so what I initially started to do, which is what I work with a little bit now, because they tend to be much more advanced today. But what I started to work with these talents was their mindset around them being a business owner.
Yeah.
Right? And it's, I would only take on typically those that already had a business going. I didn't necessarily work with those back then that were just getting started, because that was a little bit challenging. But anyway, it was the whole mindset around you're in business first and you're an artist. And you need to integrate the two. It's not separate.
So what beliefs did you instill upon them? How did you help them to make that change? Like, what are your, what insights can you provide?
I think I could probably talk more about that now and what I do now. But what I did then was I worked with them on their value, meaning really looking at how are they pricing themselves. I had, for example, this amazing graffiti artist, right?
Cool.
Who was, he was trained. He wasn't hanging out under bridges. He was
unless he was working. I don't know. I said unless he was working. Maybe he was hired. I don't know.
He was a Loyola Marymount graduate. He was fine arts. He had a family. I mean, this guy just happened to spray can instead of a paintbrush. Anyway, he was incredibly advanced for an artist. He already understood the value of running a business. So when he came to me, we just kind of merged into it. But what I helped him do, along with the other artists, was really owning their worth and their value, right? And that and this may sound a little woo-woo, but it's about getting paid for your purpose, not your time. Right? Your purpose as an artist is expressing who you are, what you stand for, who you are in this lifetime, right?
And then do you translate that into the effect that they're having on like the effect that they're putting out there, so that it's
how they're,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, in other words,
the value that they're providing to others, like, yes.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. In fact, that was one of the things I would do with a lot of my, the visual artists, the painters, the sculptors, the graffiti artists, is look what you're doing to affect somebody's home, their place of business with your piece of art, right?
Like, so every day.
Every single day. Every day. And that entertainment period, whether you're a musician, a singer, a performer, you're helping people, if you will, kind of heal. I mean,
totally. Right? Yes.
You're giving them escape.
I was driving home, and this is a confession, I'm really bad at listening to music. Like, I don't do it very often.
Oh.
Which is so weird.
People sing and
I know. Well, I think, and I've got people in here like making music all the time, but I'm bad about setting aside time to just listen to music. In the car, I'm always listening to podcasts. I'm like, taking in information. But a very dear friend of mine who I met through the Vocal Jam, he and his wife are so important to me, and they're so lovely. And he made me like, I wanted to say a mixtape, but it was a mix USB. Gave me a USB card with a bunch of songs on it. And I was listening to it on the way home and from dropping the boys off this morning, and I fully started crying, like, just knowing, it was so crazy this morning, the way that the songs that he had chosen to share with me, made him think of me. It was like, there was a song about being brave. There was just these, I don't know, the way those songs affected me. And I thought, like, this is it. This is what it is. And this is the way that the power that we have as artists to allow others to open up part of them, to heal part of them. It's so huge.
Oh my God. Especially music. I mean, I love music. I love it. Yes. It's, the value is we cannot possibly have a society and a culture without the arts. We can't.
No.
And so and it's also, here's the other piece to it, is that it's about innovating our world. It's innovating culture. We're helping, as artists, we're helping move forward, right?
Yes.
Human potential, human beings, everything.
And I don't remember if I've told you this, but when all the shootings happened in San Bernardino, it was like, again, like, seriously. And then everybody gets angry and everybody, like, starts talking about politics and all of this. And I was like, stop everything. There is one thing that we can do, which is just to continue to spread joy and continue to move things forward rather than stuck on talking about all of that junk, right?
Negative.
It's hugely important.
It's huge. I mean, sometimes I love movies and filmmaking. So I'll go for two reasons. One, I love the whole visual art of it and knowing, there goes I wonder what that screen, it's like looking behind the scenes, if you will, as I'm watching it. But also to escape. I love to sit there and be inspired, right? Who doesn't?
Right.
The movie, whether it's laughter or, a drama or a romantic comedy. Who doesn't love a romantic comedy? Seriously, entertainment is critical to the well-being of our society.
Amen.
Is that good enough value?
I want to write that one down.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Entertainment is critical to the well-being of our society. Marla.
I know. Right?
Awesome. Yes. Okay. So I forgot to tell you at the beginning that I have a session at 2:00. So I just want to make sure we have time, but I want to make sure I told you that. So, because I feel like I could talk to you for 4 hours. Are there any truths about money that you think we as artists miss out on, or do you?
Okay. Yes. And let me preface it with this, because now we're going to get into the juicy stuff. Yeah. Here's my belief. My belief is that you are being rewarded for your talents. All right. You're being rewarded, everybody, for your talents. And I aspire for you to recalibrate, and this is what we're going to get into, to recalibrate your relationship with money. Relationship like you are with a person, okay? So we're kind of bringing this close to home. And what I mean by relationship, I'm talking about behaviors and habits around money, okay? And what that tends to look like is fear, worry, doubt, shame, guilt, lack, right?
Stress.
Stress.
Taxes.
Yeah. All of the behaviors and habits tend to have this tainted view on money. Yes. Where when you pull away from that, that's man-made money in its original form. Now I'm going to get spiritual on you here for a minute. Money in its original form, like everything else in our universe, is energy.
Right.
All right. You know that.
Yeah.
You probably teach some of that. And so this money energy is not any different or separate from all the other energetic parts of our life, right? Nature is energy. Our thoughts, our feelings have energy and a vibe to them. Money in its original form, before it shows up in your bank account, in your purse, your pocketbook, it's an energy. So think about this. If we are carrying around a lot of low, I call it contractive energy around money, and money, by the way, vibrates high because it's a blessing, right?
Yeah.
It's literally a blessing, everybody. It's not all the judgments that we put on it.
Right. Or selling out, I feel like, is a big thing too, that you feel guilt, like I'm selling out if I'm making money. I don't know. I think that comes.
Well, that's all about self-worth.
Yeah.
It's about self-worth, and it's not, selling out, you're saying as an artist.
Right. That it, like, I felt that way a lot about, and maybe looking back on it, I think some of this was probably my own issues, for lack of a better term. But in college, we didn't have a musical theater program at my school, and I'm super grateful for everything that I got from where I went to college. But there was this thing about musical theater that it was not as valuable. And when I look at it, like in the world of theater, you can, for the most part, there's more jobs available in musical theater, but it seems like it's this cheesy thing that you're selling out doing, and so there was a shame around musical theater until I realized, hold the phone. Like, if people want to feel better about their lives, or they want to really feel something, that is it's like you said, it's such a valuable thing. And so to have that shame around musical theater because it was somewhere where I could actually make a living, it's crazy.
No.
Yeah.
It's about you being rewarded for that natural talent that you have.
And the talent that you've worked your booty off for as well.
That you've worked and got rejected and rejected. And I mean, it's just, it's an integrated process.
Yeah.
So back to that, about the energy, is that being that money, right? This is kind of how you start to recalibrate. I'm giving you the tippy top of the iceberg of a very big topic. But if you realize that money is a blessing, right? yeah, we're living in this fear and doubt and worry and shame and guilt and lack and all these things that say I'm not worth this. What we're doing is we're not in alignment with money.
Yeah.
We're not in alignment with money. So what do? The other side of the coin, I call it expansion energy, meaning gratitude,
Right.
faith, trust, appreciation, respect around money.
Yeah.
And I want to really point out on this, and then I'll tell you the truths, the additional truths, is that no fault of anybody's, and this is where the whole core of this it goes. No fault of anyone's that we carry around that stuff around money, because you know what? It's a learned behavior.
Right.
We're not born with judgment, greed, shame, guilt, all that stuff about money. We're not born with it. We learn it in our environment as we're growing up. And it's no fault of yours, your parents, in generation after generation, what I call a money legacy.
Right.
So what I get to do, literally break that baby up.
Yeah.
Break the chain of the money legacy and start creating your own.
Yes. And the empowerment in that is awesome, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Huge. I cannot tell you the amount of lives that I see on a daily basis coaching them. These women, their families, their husbands, their relationships, their discussions around money. It's completely shifted.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's about developing a new family money legacy.
Mm-hmm.
In how you are in relationship with money based on your habits and your behaviors, right?
Yeah.
It starts with that. That's the cause. Because here's something that I remember I think it was you that shared with me, is that and maybe it was somebody else, but they were taking a course in money.
Okay.
And what they were supposed to, it was like an online course.
Yeah.
And what they were supposed to be doing was go through the workbook. Oh, that's what it was. It was a previous client. That's what it was. She was supposed to go through a workbook. In other words, kind of self-study.
Okay.
Look at your numbers and go to your QuickBooks and all these things. I'm like, no one's going to do that until you deal with the cause.
Yeah.
The challenge. It's the same thing as integrative health, right? Is that you have to look at the cause before you can get somebody to go look at their bank statements, to go pay their bills on time, to go look at what their numbers look like. All of that, that's not going to change until you start to shift how you perceive and relate with money.
Right. Because sometimes, and I've talked to a lot of clients about this, especially in the Prepared Performer Profits program that we did.
Yeah.
First open, like if you're trying to do a budget, let's say, like the physical experience of what happens when you open that budget spreadsheet is like, it's like literally suffocating. So you can't even get to the point where all you're doing is putting numbers into a spreadsheet, but there's so much around it that's stressful and, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
Well, and let me say something about that has to do with, okay, real quickly, masculine, feminine energy, right? We've been brought up, and this is a truth. It's not a judgment, nothing. It's just the truth. We've been brought up in a very masculine-oriented society. Women relate to money very differently than men, because that's how we relate with life.
Yeah.
Okay? Meaning we take everything in. It's a very emotional experience, typically, right? We need to have collaboration, connection with our environment. Everything is different. Where a man typically, especially with money, get the job done, get the numbers, get the goal, move on. There's no emotion, move.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
You wonder why women, in this case, have a disconnect with money, because we've been trained to operate like a man with money. And it doesn't connect.
Yeah.
So what I get to do is literally validate, especially for the women, men don't necessarily relate with this, but I get to help the women validate who they are with money and build systems and strategies around money that they totally get.
Awesome. Yeah, that's cool. I like it.
Yeah.
Super cool.
So
and I'm sure that there are, in like the world of equality and whatnot, I'm sure that there are men that relate to it that way as well, you know,
there are.
especially in the, in just like the creatives,
Yes.
people with a more creative mindset might not have that same as much,
They do.
Yeah.
And I've had clients like that, men clients
Yeah.
who are creatives. They like own creative agencies
Right.
and so forth. So yeah, it definitely does, but the general public man is that.
Yeah. So do you have some, like, are there any questions that you could fill us in that would help to turn around a negative belief? Are there things that, I just want to make sure with time that we.
Yeah, I'm looking at the time too.
Yeah.
Let me give you the 3 quick truths, and then
Okay.
some questions to ask yourself.
Right. That would help to like send us in a different direction,
Yeah, absolutely. And those questions, by the way, I mean, if I was coaching you, mentoring you, I'd be walking you through them, but for at least for the most part, you can write them down, everybody, and you can start to kind of,
cool. And I'm sure, obviously, that, when same thing as with a voice student, I always say that if I'm giving you vocal tips right now, it's not necessarily going to apply to every situation is going to be different. So always working with someone one-on-one is the best way to go about it. But yeah, I'm sure there are some things that you could share that would.
Okay, good. Yeah. So real quickly, the truths about money, and I already said this, number 1 is that money is a blessing. Okay.
Yes.
Again, in its original form, it's an energy. Okay. Then it's tangible piece of, paper with deceased notables on it. Number 2 is that it requires us, this is real important, everyone, it requires us to pay attention to it. Meaning, you can't expect a relationship to grow if you ignore it.
Which a lot of us do.
I know that. I know.
Yeah.
And again, no fault of your own.
Yeah.
We don't know that. And number 3 is that we must create a respect for money and not be afraid of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's where a lot of these strategies in this one questioning process will help you, is that by changing our behaviors and our habits, we literally move away from fear and we move into a proactive relationship.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
All right. Very good. So here are the questions on shifting a negative belief. All right.
Okay.
So here's a, whatever the situation is. And let's say, I'm going to give you a scenario. Let's say it's somebody that has a challenge asking for money that's owed to them that was agreed upon.
Awesome. So this is perfect for voice coaches, because I have talked to a lot of people about this. When someone leaves the studio and most of the time it's just that they've forgotten, which I know I've done before. Like, especially if there's ways you can just forget. And I love talking about this. So I can't wait to hear what you have to say. How do you bring it up when they know they're supposed to pay, but and there's all this anxiety?
Well, it's first and foremost about you. All right. This is about you and how perhaps you as in the entertainer created that situation in the first place.
Okay.
You're shifting it so that you operate differently. And as well, I'm going to give you a quick, actual, tangible thing that you need to do in your business and how to get money.
Okay.
How to get that money so that you're not chasing after people for it.
Right.
It's a real simple solution. Okay. So anyway, the first question is, what negative belief about money could you let go of in order to make a positive impact on this situation? Meaning, what negative belief do you have about asking for money?
Right.
Right.
Like I did a gig where they didn't get the check at the gig, and then a couple weeks went by and they still hadn't paid me. And I was like, hello.
Yeah.
But also feeling like I'm going to look like a jerk for asking for that money. I can let go of that, feeling guilty for asking for the money that I was supposed to get 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. That is rightfully yours.
Right.
So it's taking a look at really what is that negative belief, right, that you need to let go of to make a positive impact than the next time will. Okay.
Right.
A similar question would be, what might you believe is true in order not to get paid promptly?
Okay.
Yeah. Let me read it again. What might you believe is true in order not to get paid promptly?
Yeah.
It's kind of the same question,
But no, that brings up a whole bunch of different things too. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because here's what you're looking for, everyone, is you're looking for what story are you telling yourself that's disempowering about money?
Right. One thing I think that, and just to give people examples so they can start to look at different ways, I can see with some of the situations that I do, I've now with some of the corporate training that I do, I've started making sure that I get paid first before I go to do it rather than sending the invoice afterwards, because the way I looked at it before was that they need to get the product, the service first.
Yep.
But there's all of this pre-work that goes into making the service there. Like, so it's ridiculous for me to work all of this stuff without getting paid.
That's right.
So
that's correct.
Yeah.
And I'll talk about that real quickly when I talk about the solution.
Okay.
Very similar. Yeah. It's the same type of process.
I love that.
Yeah. And then the third question is, what would you need to value in order to shift this?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
What would you need to value? In other words, you would need to value your boundaries. You would need to value your worth. You would need to value your talent, your time.
Yeah.
Right? So those are three really introspective questions start asking yourself that helps bring to the surface what's causing this scenario in the first place.
Yeah.
It's how we have our relationship with money.
I love that. Really cool.
Yeah. So the solution then, to piggyback on what you just said, Molly, is I have all my clients turn themselves into a credit card only business. Meaning, when you have a client right off the bat sign an agreement, this is what we're doing, this is what you're receiving, you take a deposit credit card, it goes on the file, it goes in your file, and it's also said in your agreement, this is when the balance is due, we will process it for you. That's it.
Cool. Yeah.
That's it. You no longer, because it's so undignified to be chasing people after money, so undignified.
That's different than saying, like, I take credit cards.
No.
Like, you can pay with a credit card. Here's the link where you pay it.
No.
It's totally different.
It's totally different, meaning you take either if you're in person, you take it and you have a form that they fill out, or on the phone, you take it over the phone.
Yeah.
And then you process the payment for them. It's written in the agreement that it'll be taken care of, right? Mm-hmm. So you're either using a Square, right? Those Squares today that you can process your cards, or you get a vendor. And there are different vendors that you can use for that.
Right. Or even, I mean, you can do it through PayPal too, which
you can do it through PayPal.
Yeah. But there's many ways.
Yeah. There's ways that you process the payment for them. This way, what you're doing is you're in control of your money and cash flow.
And it's an agreement that you already agreed upon. It's not like you're doing something fishy. Yeah.
No, not at all. It's very dignified. It's very professional. And here's what happens is that you teach people how to treat you.
Right. And you set it up from the beginning rather than, I love that.
That's it.
I love that. Awesome. Okay. We have a few minutes left. So, can you, I want to know, so I initially didn't have this lesson, but she had to move earlier. So how do you integrate all of that into your brand? Do you are you able to
brand in your business? Yeah. So it's it's quite simple, and you can do this at home or whatever, but it's something you may not have thought about. And that is, in order to integrate and all of who you are and make the right decisions on a daily basis, right? You literally make decisions that align with your top 5 values.
Okay.
It's literally that simple. So when you sit down and look at, okay, what's my top value? Well, money better be in there. So health, family, love, spirituality, money, whatever. When you make decisions, make sure that they align with those top values. So for example, with health, that's my number 1 value. Right? Money is second, because if I don't have health, I don't got nothing.
Right.
And that is, if I don't make good decisions to take care of me and my health, from meditation to walking every day to eating right and all those things, I'm not going to be in alignment with who I am if I'm eating lousy and not sleeping well and all those things.
Right.
what happens? I have a life that's kind of chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when your life is out of balance, it's because you're out of balance with your values and you're not making decisions based on those.
Right. I recently made a shift where there are 3 questions that I ask myself, which is, does this give me more time with my family?
Perfect.
Does this give me more money that I can, use to support my family?
Excellent.
And does it spread joy?
I
Those
love
are my
it.
3. But I think along with the dignity, I need to add some health in there too, because I have a habit of not putting that in the picture, and it's hard for me to value going to the gym or to value, making that a priority. Things like that it's really a bad one for me, but I think I need to add that to the top of my list.
Yeah, probably a good idea, but those are your values.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So do you have something that you, I know you have some goodies on your website. Do you have things that we can offer to the prepared performers?
Absolutely. So yes, everybody, what you can do is go to this website. Okay. It's a 10-page report on my 5 essential strategies for a thriving brand and profitable business.
Which you all have as a performer.
Which you all have as a performer. And so
awesome.
Go to the number 5, essentialstrategies.com. So 5essentialstrategies.com, and you will enter in your name and your email, and you will immediately get the 10-page report. It's a PDF file.
Awesome.
And you read through that baby, and it will help you get started.
Yes. So good. Marla, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that you're in my life and that you came and shared all of this with us. Yeah. So important. And just awesome. So awesome. And those questions are good, man. I like it. So good. Thank you. Yeah.
No, I loved it. Thank you for having me.
I
love playing life with you.
Yeah. I love playing life with you too. So awesome. Okay. So I will share all those links below so that everybody can make sure that they get that, because I know the information that you have is so valuable, and we just really touched on things today. So I know that there's a lot more under there that they can dig into, and also to repeat that stuff, because this is stuff that I know you have to keep reminding yourself of. They're not easy shifts to make. Mm-hmm. And like you said, this is habits that's not only been built in since we were born, but it's like the legacy of it. I love that too,
Yeah.
Forever. Not forever.
It's time to break the legacy and create your own.
I love it. Awesome. Thank you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Okay. Bye, prepared performers. Oh my gosh, you guys, how amazing was Marla? I am going to have to go back and watch that video at least 5 times so that I continue to get all the awesome, because there was so much goodness that she provided for us. Because it was so awesome, I actually decided that I'm going to do a transcription of it as well. So the transcription will be in the show notes, which will be available at thepreparedperformer.com/podcast13, all one word, podcast 13. So make sure that you check out the show notes. And I also wanted to let you guys know that we have something really exciting coming up at The Prepared Performer. On April 25th, we are going to have a 7-day challenge. It's a starving artist challenge. So if you are I can't talk. If you are a performer who is looking to book more work, either in shows, gigging, or just, make more money doing what you love, then we have an awesome thing for you. It's a live video on Facebook that I'll be doing every day for 7 days. You can tune in live and be there with us. There'll be downloads and actionable stuff for you guys to do every single day, or you can also get the replay. And all you have to do in order to join the challenge is go to starvingartistsyndrome.com. I am super passionate about curing the starving artist syndrome, and I want you guys to join me. So go to starvingartistsyndrome.com. See you then. Bye.